Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. I know. You said, what's that echo? But I had to go here because my phone died in the car. So let's see if you guys chime over to this. What's going on with my computer? I'm trying to see why the sound wouldn't come on, and I honestly don't feel like playing with it. But hey, thank you for chiming in. I appreciate it. Can you tell me if I have any sound? And actually, I'm going to look for myself online. On my own channel. Oh my god. It's calling managing two things at one time. Jesus. Okay, can you hear me? Oh, great sound. Lloyd said great now. Stuff down said great sound. Okay, thank you because I really want to hear. Thank you so much. For every action is a reaction. For every non-action is the aftermath. And what I was saying in the last video is that they are putting in this bullet train that's $1.5 billion that was commenced under Obama, giving federal funds to California to have a train line to run from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Well, honey, they didn't misappropriately use these funds. There's no train. They did eminent domain and they took people's lands away from them. In California. This is in retrospect to the first video, not the last one with no sound. So for those who followed that video and then tailed in on this one, I wanted to finish that thought. That there's people who are in this state who are misappropriately using the funds. The leaders in the states are destroying California. California right now has to declare, we ought to declare a state of emergency for black people. Black people need to boycott, listen to me, share this video and get thumbs up. Black people need to boycott businesses that don't support their community. All they want to use this is commoditized trades, goods, and service, and they're still using us today. They open up businesses that don't even really help our community other than have us pay and buy their stuff. That's all we're doing is buying their stuff. I give you an example. This weekend is the Pan-African Film Festival in California. We're celebrating black film and blackness, and we buy all their African wardrobes and cloths from Ghana, all these Ghana clothesline. But then when you open up the Ghana skirt, the Ghana skirt says made in India. I said, how is this made in India? I thought this was from Africa. I thought I was wearing Africa attire. You know, they told me, oh, we send them the fabric. We let them make it. So even the people in Africa ain't even making African stuff. Now, you explain that one to me. How can you say that you are helping and better the lives in Africa? You're not. You're just putting money in your own pocket. Because we expect them to have a chain migration of wealth to be made. If we're wearing a dress from Ghana, we know the fabric was made in Ghana. Someone sold it in Ghana. It got flown over from Ghana. I must be wearing Ghana. I must be wearing something from Nigeria. And it's this fabric that is duplicated from those countries and sent over to India. And then they give India to create the cheap labor and clothes. That's terrible. I tell you. All they all want is money out of our pockets. But let's talk about earlier, for those who chimed in later on. Thank you for following me. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for sharing my videos. Let me tell you, it means a lot for this little Southern California people to have you guys just to hear my heart. I've been doing this a long time. My name is Shirley Husar. I am a delegate for Donald Trump for the state of California in 2016, and I was a surrogate for Donald Trump. I didn't just walk away or take the red pill. I've been a Republican all my life. I was a delegate for 10 years for the RNC, and I was a delegate under President Bush and President Trump. We live in times right now where black people are dispositioned financially because of immigration. We need the wall to reposition us, to allow us to take our communities back. And President Trump said something that was very important. I don't know if you guys caught when he was in Texas. He said we need to stop this chain migration, because the chain migration is not advancing our communities. The chain migration means what? That they can bring their cousin, their uncle, their grandpa, and whoever here, and they can set up shop. People talk about Black Wall Street. Well, let's talk about current Wall Street for black communities. These people come here and they are controlling the infrastructure of operation in urban black communities. Stores, markets, gas stations, restaurants. We got all their food in our palates but our own. We don't talk about black Southern food. We don't talk about the descendants of slaves, slavery food. We talk about the greens and the turnips when the white man would just want the white turnip and they didn't want the greens, and the nutrition was in the greens. And so the slave would just say, let me break that turnip off and take them green leaves and let me make them them greens and doctor them up. And them slaves made them work. When them white people didn't want the ham hock and the pigtail and the pig feet, and the black people said, we'll take that. And we cooked the rest of that pig down, and we'd make some good stew and some gumbo, and we would boil it, stew it, broth it, fry it, bake it, whatever we had to get that tenderest part of the meat and eat it for our own people to survive. See, the southern richness of cooking came a lot from the indigenous slave tribe people that came here, that have been here for 400 years. So don't let anyone come tell you you need to go back. Tell them, what are you talking about? I have been here before the conception of America. America was, Revolutionary War was the 1776. African Americans were brought here as commodity in 1619. War Dutchmen came to Monroe, Virginia. They landed, and they brought 20 blacks as commodity of trades, goods, and service. We're not immigrants. We're not illegal immigrants. So if we know all this history, and if we don't do your homework, write this down. Do your own homework and your reference on this, because you know I'm speaking the truth. I'm trying to get you to understand the importance of how these other people have devalued your mindset and devalued your worth, or rolled on your backs by saying they're black and that they deserve civil rights and that they deserve birthright rights. And they're doing all this on rights that were in place for an indigenous slave tribe of people, which is us. But if we're just going to give all that away to them, then what's the purpose? If we're going to sit back and let us beat each other up and not have civil conversation based on facts, based on ledgers that have written points, you can show your worth through census bureaus. You can show your worth through your genealogy, not your DNA, your genealogy, meaning that you can go and say, my grandmother was born in so-and-so, so-and-so, my grandfather was born in such and such, my great-great-grandfather was born in such and such. And if you can go before, 18, before the emancipation, it's late, y'all know what I mean. If you go back before the emancipation, that means that you can show that you can go back before then. Like I think the furthest I've traced is 1854. So that's before the emancipation, right? So that means I know that I have been here, at least my people on my father's side have been here before slavery. Most of you guys can't do that. Some of you guys are so pro-black you don't realize you're not really black American and you're not a descendant of slave. But it doesn't mean that you don't have passion or that you're not quote-unquote black because you have this kind of skin color, you're black. We don't talk about, there are white people who are descendants of slaves too. You guys know that, right? You realize that there were light-skinned black people who were slaves and who were the house Negroes, who basically were so light they almost could pass as white. And when they were able to get away from that slave master, many of them were able to acclimate. Listen to me, share this video, get the thumbs up, and subscribe. Please subscribe, because I always pop in and put the little alert button to let you know when I leave and come back. But many of the white people who passed as white, that's why I saw Yvette Cornell about 3 weeks ago. She was in LA. I said, girl, you know you could pass. Oh, no, I couldn't pass with this nose and stuff. I said, please. Do the right time or the right era. You take advantage of every opportunity you got. And if you were light-skinned, I couldn't even hate you for that one. The way you saw us being treated like dogs and stepped on and spit upon and all the things they did to us, and you can pass, sister girl, she would have been pushing to pass. Long story short, what am I meaning? That black people who were light-skinned married white people, and those people had children that were light-skinned who married other white people, and so forth and so on. And next thing you look up, they no longer have any melanin of my pigmentation in them. Their nose has changed. Their body features have altered. And they are a child of the indigenous slave tribe because they traced back. When you have a chance, go to Ancestors.com YouTube channel, write this down and write railroad ties. Watch that video and you'll find out one of those white men who are in the video found out that he had not one but two ancestors who were African American who passed as white and eventually married white people, and basically, I won't say purified, but basically filtered out the melon, the dark melon out of their diaspora of genealogy today. That generation didn't even know that they were related to black people. But they're still descendants of slaves. But are they descendants of slaves African American today? No. Because in the documentary, if you watch them, if you go to the Census Bureau, they would ask you if you're white, black, or mulatto. Mulatto meant that you're mixed. And a lot of blacks would say, oh, I'm mulatto, because they were so light-skinned. And eventually the mulattoes turned from an M to a W. So many of you guys don't know that in the Census Bureau, they used to use the term mulatto versus white and black, which was a little lesson for me to learn that I learned watching that video. We have to understand that through the history, blacks and whites pollinated this country. And over the years, other countries have come in, they've filtered, and we've been very open to them. But they have also caused a lot of despair and a lot of separate racism that they think we caused upon this country, which we already had our problems already. To me, they amplified it. Because now they feel that in California, and specifically in California, if you're African American, these people look down upon us. Now, listen to me, share this video, get some likes up. I'm different than a lot of other black YouTubers out there. They don't live here. These same people that talk about Trump and the Democrat Party, that's all they talk about is the Democrat Party. They don't live and walk and talk and eat on the damn streets of these freaking people that sell these nasty ass hot dogs and wieners wrapped in bacon, who don't wash their hands, who sit back and handle business with money, cash on cash hand, and touching your food, who cook for you, who won't hire you, who only hire their own people, who disposition and displace your people for their people. These are the things that you guys are not talking about. And I'm had enough. I'm at a point now we should boycott. Does anybody believe that we should be boycotting? Let me know what you think about that. Okay, someone says, Shirley, tell me about what's going on and what's happening with the money the government gave to California for the train. Well, I kind of just shared that earlier. That train is done. Gavin Newsom said that they'll no longer be moving forward with it, and they're going to keep the money. President Trump said yesterday, we want that money back, boo-boo. We're demanding the money back. So there's some war on that money right now, because $1.5 million, when you've only completed, what, 20% of the 100% project that we were allotted money from, and now there's apparently not enough money for that. Yeah, that's some red flags going on. There's some red flags. Is there no sound? Really? Yes. Okay. La la. Really? Okay. That's very, okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me. No sound, still no sound. This is interesting. Okay, I can hear you. All right, you say you can hear me, so I didn't know. My phone was working earlier. Let's see what else is out there. I absolutely agree with you, Martha, building the wall. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. What I hear, no, there's no toilet. I'm not sitting near any toilet. I'm just in the sink area. Let's see, what else is out there? Let me tell you that we need to talk about as well the e-verification. This is verification to determine if this person is legally, rightfully here. Now, right now, what you don't realize is that downtown LA and a lot of prisoners are getting their IDs used. A lot of people are using our people's ID to pay their bills, to live their lives, because they're here illegally. And they know that the mass incarcerated and prison person is not using that ID. Now, I got a question. If you only got one social security number, how the hell does the prison system not know that that person's there? Because they have to use their social to get them in there. And then how the hell do you not know that that person in prison is not using their ID and their security? This is some bullshit. We need e-verification. And we need to start tracking people who are getting their ID stolen, dead people still alive. We need to shut all that down. Ron Paul, the father, stated, you want to shut all this wall stuff down? Cut their benefits. They are displacing us, and our EBTs and our Section 8 won't go to the seniors. Remember, I interviewed that lady. She was 67 years old, and she, unfortunately, if you think about it, unfortunately, she was in a situation where she couldn't even use her EBT, because the Section 8 people had taken advantage of that and given it to the immigrants and the refugees. And there's companies like the immigrants come here through chain migration, and they only cater towards refugees and immigrants. So there's this perpetual cycle of immigrants, illegal immigrants, and refugees, which are truly pushing out the American people. The American people are displaced by those people having that empowerment of that circle. Black people are targeted because we are the weaker communities and we're not the protected class of people that we have been told by law to be. Instead, there's everybody else claiming to be black. Notice how everybody's black. Even that new Cortez chick says she got some black in her, because everybody wants to claim to be African, but they're not a descendant of slaves. That's why it's important. It's crucially and important that we discuss the African Americans who are descendants of slaves. And you can figure that out through your genealogy. Ancestry.com, 23andMe, Legacy Tree. Maybe I will start talking more about that, because a lot of people say, how do I determine if I'm a descendant of slave? And it's not through DNA, it's through genealogy. That means there's census bureaus and records and Bibles, and there's different ways that they find out your ancestors, and they just keep tracing back that name, and then you have to look at the children that are connected to that name and the value that they bring to the table. That's so true. Granny, Active Granny. Hey, you all, thank you for coming on, dear. Active Granny talks about how the Catholic Church and Lutheran Church uses legal illegals to make money off. Girl, the Catholic Church don't like black people. If you go to the Black Museum, African American Museum in DC, you'll learn that a lot of them are using us as slaves. A lot of church people were not in our best interest. But then on the other hand, there were a lot of good churches that did do well for American people. So there's some controversy on that. The California governor is corrupt. They don't want to find... Oh no, the government is beyond corrupt. This country has declared war against the President Trump today. They basically said that they will not coincide with him and that they're suing him, and they're not going to accept a protective wall for people who live in the state, knowing that we are in jeopardy of health and sanitation and an abundance of people that are utilizing our resources like our gas and our water to the max, that we're supposed to be recycling existing water. So the water that you drink and you poop out of, they want us to start recycling that water. Unlike everybody else who gets fresh water, we have to have recycled water. We need to support we need to support businesses that use e-verification. Absolutely. E-verification, we need to support businesses in black community owned by black people, by American people. Go to people who are owned by American people. If you say, well, you don't want to do the black thing, at least ask if they're Americans and own it, if you can, because that's not easy to do these days. California is gone. California's at war. And California is at a point right now, it disrespects law and order, and it is allowing us to be controlled, manipulated, MS-13. And that you guys don't know, if you look at the papers, Eric Garcetti and Gavin Newsom are doing a lot of trips to Mexico. You know, they are working in alliance with Mexico to work against the American people. And President Trump always speaks kindly sometime in Mexico, and I think he needs to wake up. And I think all these Mexicans who are sending money back to their family members, cash, you know, everybody's doing stuff cash. Remember I told you about how the Democrats do everything cash? All this cash operation that we see taking place. What we need to do is wake up and start taxing these people. These wires, these Western Unions, these Snapchat transfers of funds out of America. Any money that transpires out of America, they should do a tariffs or a major tax or lean against that money, because they're not taking that money to have tax dollars to protect your community. And that's what tax dollars are supposed to do. Like if you have, let's say, trash cans, cracks in your streets, your lights, your city lights, all that comes from your tax dollars, because you have local, state, and federal, right? But if the local and the state are using their funds to support illegal immigrants and talk about global what is this whole thing with the air and natural light and all this kind of weird stuff that has nothing to do with helping the betterment of the homeless and the blacks downtown LA. What good are those people? They don't work in our best interest. These environmental nuts, that's what the word I was looking for, environmental nuts. Are you going to see Yvette? I'll see if I can go in October. I know Yvette's got a conference talking about the descendants of slaves in October. Like I told you, I talked to Yvette about 3 weeks ago when she was in LA. I think in October I'm going to be with Phil in Africa, to tell you the truth. So I'm really about making that money. I do have some other things in my pockets though to help us with the descendants of slaves. So keep watching. I'll tell you what urban game changers. We have something else. We have another approach to having people understand. Gonna do. We do a lot of meetings and seminars already. We've been doing them before Yvette was out there, and before Yvette was doing seminars. Urban Game Changers goes back to 2011. Um, and there's a lot of us, and we have people contributing. Phil from the Advice Show, T West from Afro Synergy. We have over 13 to 14 executive directors nationwide. So I can't do all the videos like those people. Like Yvette is very committed to YouTube. I have so many other platforms that I have to watch and manage and develop. And what I want to do is talk about the financial restitution that we're not getting in our communities, as far as the Black communities, because that's important. Tone Talks is great. Tone has his own different ways. Some things we all agree and some things we don't agree upon. But I would tell you, as a native of California, born and raised here, I really stay focused on how we're being affected. We're down to 6% African Americans in the state of California, and that's really tragic because I remember times when African Americans were doing well and thriving, and we owned more properties, and we're pushed out by this immigration illegals. It's like we can't even breathe. We can't think of doing anything else but talking about them. I'm sick of talking about them and how they're always a victim, or the Muslims are a victim. Everybody's a victim but us. And I think that self-preservation has to come into place. Self-preservation for Black America needs to be discussed among Black Americans. And we can't expect them to provide some type of legislation or some kind of restitute of legislation to help us. I think that we need to put us legislation together ourselves. I think that we need to share on each other's platforms. I think Yvette could share more on her platform. Her and Tone seem like they're like two islands on their own, and they have a strong platform, and she's built it very well. I have a different perspective of that. I think that we need to go to different platforms, and if we don't come together as people, we need to start having discussions on each other's platforms and not be this one-man island, but to create a whole nation of people, African American people, that are united on a united front. And if we can do that, we'll do better. Um, Jerry Brown is no longer governor. Gavin Newsom, who is the nephew of Nancy Pelosi. So Jerry Brown's out. Jerry Brown, Loser Brown, Crazy Flip Flop Brown, Moonbeam is out. Does that make it better? No, because now we have Nancy Pelosi's nephew, and there's no other better, and there's no other. It's not getting better. It's not getting better. Granny's talking about half of the billions of cannabis sales due to high taxes. The Black community, Black people to be seduced. They want black people to smoke weed and take drugs and do everything we can to suppress ourselves to an empowerment, self-sufficient, self-reliant mode, because it takes you out of your subconsciousness into some other consciousness. Good, bad, or indifference. I hear a lot of different people say it's addicting, it's not addicting. I would tell you this, it dispositions you as a person when you walk in smelling like weed, when you're trying to get a job, smelling like weed, when you're smelling like petroleum and then saying, hey, I need to get paid and have an attitude. That's not going to keep you on your job. So while Black people talk about the weed industry because we smoke so much of it in our community, I think this is another way of government doing, just like they had all these liquor stores in the 70s and the 80s, all in the Black community, filtrated to have us addicted to some usage of some type of form of addictism, if that's such a word. I mean, having you become an addict, addicted to a use form. They don't want us talking about money and opportunity. They just want us to continue to be drugged, self-drug. Nothing wrong with a little recreational use. Okay, maybe for you. For me, my recreational use is trying to figure out how I'm going to get another line of income coming in. I believe you should have 5 lines of income coming in. If you got 5 lines of income coming in, how you going to have time to smoke weed all once in a while? You don't have no lines of income coming in. So you tell me, how can you do that? How can you do that when you've allowed your mind and your body to be addicted to some kind of substance? Because every day you got to feed that substance, you got to take that substance, you got to find time for that substance. All that time you could have been looking on how to create another line of income. All that time you could have been studying on how to better yourself in some way. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that. No. What you did was you went ahead and you have allowed yourself to be dispositioned. And that dispositioning puts you into another category. So if you want to do that, you can. My thing with my own people is to wake up. Smell the roses, get some kind of coffee in your system, and think about a plot of action for 2019. How do I take myself to the next level? How do I financially find those new lines and streams of income? How do I realize my worth as a descendant of slaves of 400 years into this country when other people are trying to take advantage of my empowerment like the illegal immigrants are doing? My computer, I'm trying to see what's going on with it. Yeah, these are things that we don't talk about. And the reason why we don't talk about them is because we're too busy hating on each other or taking these substances that don't move us forward. Now, let me tell you 5 things I think that's going to happen now that President Trump has declared a state of emergency. He's going to go ahead and tell you what he did. He said, we're going to get sued. I mean, the federal government's going to get sued. After the federal government gets sued, it's going to go to the Ninth Circuit. President Trump has said that. He's absolutely correct. The Ninth Circuit's going to side with California and not President Trump. After they side with California, it's going to go to the Supreme Court because we're going to contest it. We're going to say, oh no, we're not going to accept that. We're going to contest it. Then after we contest it, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. After it goes to the Supreme Court, you know what's going to happen? They're going to go ahead and say, Mr. Trump was right. So that's going to take all this legal. See, attorneys are going to the bank. If you are a political attorney, you are making millions and millions of dollars or hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars. The constituent, on the other hand, we're just getting fucked and watching the show. We're watching the show. Tax dollars being wasted. We're being screwed. So how does that help us? How does that embetter us as a people? It doesn't. It dispositions us. It dispositions us because we are not better people from it. And because we're not better people from it, we are giving time and energy to things that just don't add any value. And we don't want to do that anymore. And I want you to wake up to that. See what else is. Sure, police departments and bureaus. We have miseducation on our history, and we have read, but we not knowledge of our placement. Well, this is true, Audrey. We don't do our homework. And certain African Americans have a better understanding of Black history, especially those who are from the South. Those who are Southern Blacks, they really understand it. But then there are other people who are not Southern Blacks, who are Northerner Blacks, and a lot of people don't just, we're not taught it in school. It wasn't priority for us in school. Now we're saying, well, wait a minute, maybe we need to do our homework. Maybe we need to let our children know. We had to create all these Black holidays, these fake holidays that ain't even real. We need to know what the reality of what we are. That's why I said, do your genealogy, not your DNA. Do your genealogy, because if you do your genealogy, then you understand your ancestries and how far back you can go. Okay, next question. Why do you think the rents are so high? I live in South Bay and can't even rent. Well, I'm going to tell you why the rents are so high. Number one, many foreign people have come here, paid cash. I'm a realtor. I'm a licensed realtor. I've been licensed for 20 years. I'm a real estate agent and a real estate developer. So I can answer that question real thorough than anybody. I have seen people come here with cash from other countries and buy apartment units and complexes, and they don't care about appraised value. So let's say the apartment was selling for $500,000. It was 6 units. Well, an Armenian or somebody from another country know that they can't keep the value of their dollar in their country. So you know what they do? They pay $550,000 to $600,000. Now, they don't worry about the appraised value because they came in with cash. So it drove the prices sky high. Now they want to rent. Well, they don't want to rent to Americans because Americans know they're right. And they're going to say, if you don't do right by me as a tenant, I'm going to sue you. So they circumvent the law, and they put in people like 2 to 3 families of immigrants and illegal immigrants into these apartments. So while you paying maybe $1,000, which is rare, because most in Northern California, a 3-bedroom can go for $5,000. So if a 3-bedroom goes for $5,000 and you're an immigrant, you might have 2 or 3 families in there trying to pay that rent. Because as a realtor, I can tell you property management has had something like bedrooms, bunk beds in the kitchen, bunk beds in the living room, bunk beds in the dining room. This is how these people live. And then I get a dissertation from white women, God bless these white people who follow me, and say, well, Shirley, in their country, they don't have this type of living. They don't live like this. They didn't live on each other's top of each other. Well, tell them to go back that way. Because if we start that and we do high density impact, that means high density versus low density means that you can stack and rack people up and there's no parking needed. And we're just stacking and racking people up. Well, what good is that to have a high density when you'll find out that we have no space to walk anywhere? There's no trees, there's no parks, there's no parking. They want you to ride these damn scooters so you trip over yourself when you go walk down the street. How many of y'all are sick of them damn scooters in California? It's ridiculous. Someone earlier came in on one of the other threads, working or not, I don't know. We were talking about the DMV and how much people pay for their tags on their car. I told you can pay up to $2,000 to $3,000 for your damn tag. Don't get it twisted. They got all kinds of things going on between the gas prices of almost $4 to $5 and the milk and the food. And the quality of food. Do you know in Texas there's no income tax and them people slaughter their own cows? You can go to a slaughterhouse and get a half a cow, honey. You ain't got to go to the market. You can get it fresh from the slaughterhouse. Y'all don't get it. At least you can know your meat coming from America. You go to these stores in California, man, they got all kind of treaties made up. I asked this lady, where are these peaches from? She says they're from Chile. Now how the hell do the peaches that we got a peach little farm in the community. We're California, we're known for produce. And we're taking peaches from Chile. I said Chile, Chile, the country, Chile. So you need to start looking at some of the food. If you live here, you need to be conscious of that. E-verification. Knock on wood, baby. If we can get some e-verification to verify your ass, let's work it. But for every truism, for every true action, truism, if that's such a word, there's always illegal-ism of people saying, we're going to find a way to circumvent the truth and rectify more illegal actions. Well, this is where President Trump has got to put his foot down. And that's what he did with the state of emergency. State of emergency was put into place to stop criminals and thugs from coming in. And President Trump talks about that because there's laws that are in place to talk about the restitution of his actions. So when they look those laws up, they're going to say, can he do this? Yes, he can. Why? Based on what premise? When the country feels that they're being threatened and the country feels that there's an unsafe action being taken place. And he has stated that in his dialect to the community. I, on the other hand, have said, Mr. Trump, talk about the people behind the wall like me and everybody else who's been invaded by these people with their bugs. There's bed bugs and Pasadena and Long Beach. Did y'all hear about them bed bugs? Look up bed bugs. And y'all know about Typhus, the black plague that is out there. This black plague ain't no joke. It was in City Hall, and this woman, let me show you if I can show you that video. This woman got infected with typhus, and she was a district attorney. Yes, honey, she is a district attorney, and she got typhus. And they basically told her, man, we're so sorry about what happened to you. She says, look, this typhus ain't no joke. We need to, it runs in rats and mice. That's correct. So if any of you guys don't know, try to type this in my phone computer. Typhus is a plague that was during the medieval times, and now we have it in California. It has to do with unsanitized, unsafe, unclean areas. And the areas that have happened is, in California, downtown LA has been infested with it, especially the homeless people. So because of that, now we have fleas that are in the streets. Yes, we have fleas everywhere. There's a festation of fleas in California. See if I can get this video to work. I saw that. I said, ain't this a bitch? This is crazy. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to show you this video. Am I talking twice? Hold on. Okay, hold on. I think I know what's going on, but I'm sorry. Let me rotate this back up. Got too many windows open. Okay, am I heating? I'm not hearing any more feedback. Okay, good. Okay, I had my window open with my window. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna switch this. Okay, you guys can see that, right? And you can hear it. So here you go. Let me play it for you. Hold on. I have the thing. Oh.
Deployed to Los Angeles City Hall to deal with a rat and flea infestation. First reported by the NBC4i team.
And as officials search for all those solutions, our Patrick Healy spoke to the head of one organization who says she knows the perfect way to solve the problem. Patrick.
Yeah, I got that, Colleen. Well, the out-of-the-box solution that's proposed here is using rodents' natural predators, which are cats. And now, this has been done at a number of city locations before. Pest control professionals, many of them have concerns. They believe their trees can themselves become infected and pose a risk. But clearly, something needs to be done. You've seen the video of City Hall staffers chasing a small rodent. And rodents continue to be caught in traps put out in offices. The group Voice for the Animals shared with us this video documenting success stories using the feline approach at 3 LAPD stations that had rodent issues. The group, working with the LA Animal Control, brought in rescued cats. They needed to be acclimatized to their new one, then stayed on roaming the area. Problem solved. Founder Melia Kaplan today told us she sees no reason.
Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about it before I finish up. Now, let me get it straight. Y'all got a flea and a rat and a filth issue in your state. You ain't talking about let's clean the filth up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get some more cats. We're gonna get domestic cats to chase the rats. So now instead of catching the cats, we're gonna let more cats out on the streets. So now you got rats, you got fleas, and you got cats chasing rats. Well, do they know that cats poop and shit everywhere too? And pee everywhere? So you're going to have cat piss and rats and poop. Does any of this make sense, or am I talking to myself? Real Money says, wow, isn't that deep? And in the meantime, you think they're going to put any flea collars? Did you see any flea collars on these rats, on these cats? Because the last thing I looked up, word news alert, cats catch fleas. And fleas hop on cats. This is some crazy stuff. So we're going to use cats to catch the rats to stop typhus. Oh, and it works. See, this is how the tick-tick mind of these damn liberal progressives. Instead of saying, hold up, let's clean and take a bath. Let's take a bath. Let's clean things up first. Oh, my God. This is motherfuckers. There's some bullshit right here. Let's arm our city with cats. I'm going to have to go on YouTube on this one. On Facebook on this one. Hold on. Let me show you this attorney. Let's see. City Hall. I'm going to show you another video. I'm going to show you what this City Hall attorney, she said the shit was in her eyes. I got typhus in my eyes. I'm like, what? I can't believe they talking about cats. So they going to get your cats. They going to get your cats to fix this situation. These people are cray. This is the kind of life I'm living in the state of California. You're rats. Okay, now this is the one talking about the rats. Hold on. They got a commercial. This is the one showing the rats running in City Hall in the building. Because the fleas are harvesting underneath the carpet at City Hall. Look up typhus. Stop looking at me like I'm crazy. Look up typhus. Okay, here, hold on.
Whoa. Here we go. As city leaders deal with a typhus outbreak in the building. Keep in mind, this is new video. Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez's office sent us this video a short time ago showing a rodent scurrying across the floor. One of her employees says that they have spotted multiple rodents in the office since late last summer. This as city officials consider taking out the carpets of the building after Council President Herb Weston says a city employee possibly contracted the disease while at work.
Let's see, this is another. So, okay, now they know they got these rodents. So what they said, I know how we're going to fix this. I know how we're going to fix this. We're going to put some cats on the street, and that's going to deal with the rodents. And you're going to have cats rolling all over the state. system of actions busted up. I'm telling you, ding, 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 ding. This is the state leaders. These are the people that run the state of California. They're some stupid idiots. You know, you say, what the hell is typhus? Let me kind of give you a dissertation. Some of y'all don't know what typhus is. I'm going to have the computer read and I'm going to talk over the computer. I really want you to understand that this is bad. And y'all laughing. This stuff could easily come over to your city, into your town, and it's deadly. It is a deadly disease. It's a triple. For now, until we build an immune system and there's no virus, there's nothing to stop it. What are you gonna do then? What do you do then when we don't have enough immunities to fix this thing? It's caused by fleas and it's caused it hops. The fleas hop and they run in rodents and they run in cats. I mean, they don't run in cats. They go into our animals. So now they're gonna have more of our animals interact with other animals that are supposed to be dealing with the flea issue. Hold on, listen.
Is a group of infectious diseases that include epidemic typhus, scrub typhus, and murine typhus. Common symptoms include typhus, also known as typhus fever, is a group of infectious diseases that include epidemic typhus, scrub typhus, and murine typhus. Common symptoms include fever, headache, and a rash. Typically, these begin 1 to 2 weeks after exposure. The diseases are caused by specific types of bacterial infection.
Okay, now, let's look up typhus and the Black Plague. Okay, so during the Black Plague, they had typhus, right? And typhus was pretty bad. They tell you it's like, let's see, bubonic plague. Let's see about the bubonic plague, if it's going to talk about that. Because I want you guys to understand that. Okay, so we've heard of plagues, right? But the Bible talks about plagues in the last days. And they're like insect bites all over the bodies. That's what these people look like. They have all these little bug bites all over their bodies.
Insect bite plague. Scienpitomnu.com. Bacteria cause diseases. Tularemia can be spread by deer fly bites, the bubonic plague by fleas, and the epidemic typhus rickettsia by lice. medicinahealth.com. Reduviate bug. American trypanosomiasis, Chagas disease, lice, louse-borne relapsing fever, typhus, chigger mites, drumbiculid mites, scrub typhus, ticks. Ticks can transmit a number. travelhealthpro.org.uk.
Okay, so we've heard them talk about lice. We all know about lice because those are the little bugs that are on people's hair. Black people used to perm their hair when I was a kid, so we didn't have lice problems. But now we're into our natural hair, and life will live in natural hair because we're not using chemicals in our hair. We heard of ticks. People have those ticks where you have to get that little, get that pick and that tick, and you pull it out of the body system. You guys know those ticks that you have to pull out. The bubonic plague has typhus in it. Here's another bubonic plague. You guys need to look that up. See how typhus is in a lot of diseases. It's a plague. It runs in various types of forms. See, so don't let them see this. This is a typhus. This is a form of a typhus. It's spots of typhus. This is how you can spot it. You see that? You see that? I'm telling you, that you think it's just something really small and minor. This ain't no joke. This is not a joke. There's different types of typhus and symptoms. This site is symptoms.com. Oops, there you go. So you can see it's symptoms.com. But I wanted you to see the different types of plagues that are out there. Because if you see the word typhus, see? And it's under different forms. So if you got all these different forms of typhus flying, and you're talking about cats, now you want to use domestic cats, like that's going to fix it. Dogs can get it too, that's correct. I know when a dog had, they get the fleas, the dogs and cats get them, you're going to get them. Or if you take your cat or dog over to, let's say, some type of dog park, and that dog park has has typhus going on. That's not a good thing. What's the solution to all of this? Why don't all these people just take a damn bath? Say to these people, y'all need to take a bath. You need to take a bath and you need to clean the city up. But they don't want to do that. What they want to continue to do is they want to continue to let more people move into the state. They want to continue to show that we have a safe city so that people come here as tourists. But the tourists, if I was a tourist, I wouldn't want to come here. Let me show you some more. Here's the rats. Let's see if this is the one the lady's going to talk about. It's the one with the carpet. You remember I told you it's under the carpet?
All right.
Okay, hold on. No, thank you. These damn commercials. You remember I told you that these people have it underneath the carpets of City Hall? So in this video, you're going to hear this lady talk about how at work she had to endure it. So here we go.
Hall on edge tonight after at least one employee came down with the dangerous disease. The office of Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez shared this video showing a mouse scurrying across the floor. Typhus is typically transmitted through fleas infected by rodents. There have been many reports of rats and other critters running rampant through City Hall. The city employee was diagnosed with the bacterial disease back in November. She believes she was infected at work and refuses to return to the job until City Hall East is thoroughly fumigated.
I was so sick I thought I was going to die. Who thinks of typhus? I think of typhus as something that I read about in history books.
Symptoms of typhus include fever, chills, and severe rashes. Extreme cases can be deadly. There were 142 confirmed cases of typhus in LA County last year.
Okay. And then I told you, we went to that other one. Did you see how these different forms of typhus there are? I keep being redundant because I want you to understand. You need to go to symptoms.com and see how typhus is formed in different spots. There, see how the word typhus is polarized? I'm not making this stuff up. Now, if y'all want to live your life and you think it ain't gonna happen to you, that you're in a safe part of town, that's a lie. Because California ain't no joke. It don't care about the health and sanitation of the people. Y'all talking about the Olympics is a bone. Okay, well, Olympics might pull out. Because, they might say it ain't worth it. They may say if you can't clean this city up and get rid, they might bring their own health people through here, okay? Ain't gonna be enough money to pay for people getting sick because they don't want to get sued. There's a liability that you have from other countries saying, we're not coming to California because y'all got typhus. Take the thing somewhere else because we're not coming to California. Those illegals came in here. They're unvaccinated. And they brought these bugs in here. But most of all, they displaced American people. And what happened was the American people are living on the streets. We have open squatting. When you have open squatting, people just take a shit wherever they want to take a shit. We got open squatting in the state of California. What the hell is that about? What the hell is going on right there? You got people open squatting downtown LA in the streets. So now you got open fetus, all shit, people stepping in other people's shit, right? Then you got the rats down there. Then you got bad food because people said, well, let's just give them some food. Well, if they don't eat the food, they just toss it, right? Now they can't have plastic bags to wipe themselves if they poop. There's no toilets. They're going to give porta potties to black people. I told you we need to have a mass exodus. If you're in the South, I need some Southern people. Email me, shirleyhusar@gmail.com. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Let's have more discussion about exiting out of getting our people situated out of this state. This state ain't helping nobody on American status, especially African American people, okay? We ain't even talked about the hypodermic needles in San Francisco, Granny. The conferences have been canceled in San Francisco due to the filtering crime. They ought to, because there's a health issue right now. Oh, this is real TV, honey. This is real life I'm talking about. This ain't like, let's talk about leaving the Democrat Party channel. I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to sit back and keep talking about the African Americans of descendants of slaves. I want you to realize we're on the verge of extinction. They're trying to extinct us. That is why we only have 13 to 12%, 14% of the population. At one time, we passed white people. Now they done got us cut down 80%. What the hell is that about? What is that about? We don't even talk about black families, black opportunity, financial restitution. Oh, we keep thinking somebody gonna give us something. Ain't nobody gonna give you a damn dime. Ain't nobody care about your life. Nobody cares if you work. Nobody cares if you're employed. Nobody cares if you're homeless. Hell, nobody in this channel care about nobody. It's about self-preservation. If you want to have a self-preservation, you need to come to Jesus moment with yourself. Sit down, figure out your economic opportunities, look at your chain migration of wealth, turn all this bullshit off on TV, even other channels that you watch, even including myself. Come to know who you are as a person first. And have a talk with Jesus. Have a Jesus moment. Say, Jesus, we got some situations here. Work on your mind, work on your body, work on your mouth, and work around getting around all these negative ass people who think they know everything. And stop listening to stupid ass entertainers be lying that they got jumped by somebody, which is some bullshit. Maybe that's why we could do better in this country if we understood the importance of our own self-preservation and utilize government entities to work better for us through legislation and allocated laws that we create, that we want to do better for our people. But instead, y'all keep wanting for somebody to give you something now. If they would do this, if they would give us that, why don't you put it together? Why don't you come up with some kind of legislation? When it comes to understanding the descendant of slaves, you need to do your own genealogy. It's an investment. Genealogy is an investment. If you don't want to do an investment in yourself, what good is that? If you don't want to do a diaspora knowing who you are and what you're about, what good is that? You need to know who and what you are and what contributions your people have given to this country. And that's going to cost you some money. That's going to cost you some time. That means you got to sign up for one of those programs. But once you know who you are, you can shut a white person down. I'm sorry. When white people start coming to I'm the poor lost black child. So let me help you out. My people have been here. I've been able to trace back to 1854. How far can you go? Think of an immigrant. We're all immigrants. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm not an immigrant. I'm a child of the indigenous slave tribe. My people built this country. But see, you have got my people so twisted in the head that we have devalued our own self-worth. Instead, now we're getting ate up downtown LA by Typhus. Let me show you something else. Let me show you one more video. See, y'all think I'm making this stuff up. And I've been telling you, they don't care about us. And we know that. So what is the answer? What is the answer? Because if we know they don't care about us, then it's time for us to have a come to Jesus moment and talk about self-preservation. Because if we're not going to talk about self-preservation and we're not going to talk about trying to help black people to get out of here, it is genocide. Thank you, Audrey. You know, the abortion, the mass incarceration, the emasculating of black men, black women wanting to sleep with other black women. We don't want to appropriate. We don't even want to have any more kids. You got all these dykes looking with sisters going to come up and talk to you like, hey, how you doing? Bitch, ain't nobody wants you. Go eat your pussy somewhere else. It's late night talk with me, so forgive me. Come on, subscribe. Share my video because I think that we need to talk about real talk here. There's too many people keep talking about let's leave for the Democrat Party. Okay, you gotta do a little bit more than that, boo-boo. You gotta stop getting these people to take our rights away. Look at this video. Now, I created this video. I want to show you a couple of videos that I have on my channel. Look at this one. This is when I was downtown LA. I want you to see these people setting up. Forgive that sound. I really don't need a sound. I don't really need the sound to play. These people have no license, okay? They're downtown LA, and they have, look at this. This is, let me stop it. Let me back it up a little bit. They have a table outside on the street. Y'all see this table on the street outside? See them cooking? Look at this woman cooking. She cooking food. See her cooking food? You see her cooking on a grocery cart? Y'all see that grocery cart she got? Now, why don't the police shut her down? Where's health and sanitation? How does she wash her hands? Guess what? This bitch is legal. That's right. As of 2019, they made this legal. Let me keep going. Look like street Mexican food, yeah. Well, we might as well say we're in Mexico here. Look at this. Now, where does she wash her hand at? How she wash her hand? Somebody tell me how she wash her hand. They got a full table on the corner in the street. Let's make sure get that set. What we're enjoying. They had Beyonce. from Black Federated Conservatives.
We have a shopping cart here. And I don't know how she get this thing hot. That's what I always want to
Now look, shopping cart. You see the shopping cart? That's how she washed that food. She's got little buckets. Look how filthy those buckets are. But see, that don't bother nobody.
see.
See them buckets? And she's selling food.
This is our life in California.
But we can't sell incense or a t-shirt. Now you tell me how we got rodents and rats in the street. When these rats are waiting for these people to empty their food right in the middle of the street when they don't use it.
All on the ground.
Look at this.
Be very careful. I don't know what she's washing her hands to do these tortillas, but you know, hey, somebody gonna eat that stuff. And here we are at the corner, across the street from Langers. So, this is California life. California life.
Look, she's selling. She got a license to sell.
Seems to complain that the grocery cart is stolen. Obviously, they now own it. But the original owners are not complaining. And,
You see the street?
California life. California life. Oh, excuse me.
Or did I disrupt him?
Anyway, that's it.
I had to mumble. Do you know why I'm mumbling? Because I don't want them hearing me talking about them. Because hell, I don't need. I'm outnumbered. And me and the boys hanging together. I want to show you another video. See, I've been talking about this a long time. I think that one was last year, 2 years ago. Now look, you know we talking about black people in cages. Let me show you these black people in cages for those who want to see late night cage work. You know we talking about the babies are in cages. Well, how about black people in cages? Let's show some black folks in cages.
All right, mission downtown LA.
Now, see these black people? Look at that cage there. You see that?
You see a large percentage of them are African American people who are hurting in this country. We need money down here to help these people. This is a shame. The mission can't even fill the people up because the mission is full. Try not to step on people.
And you want more, you can watch that video on my channel. Because that's the Black People in Cage channel. And I want to show you one more video, which I want to show you this woman. She's right here. She is 67 years old. Living on the streets.
You know, I'm 67 years old. So, you know, there's a lot of the older people down here that really on fixed income, at one time.
All right. So we are downtown Los Angeles, me and Kenneth, and the state of California continues to get eroded with funds from the federal government and state money not going towards the community people. We're here filming on Gladys and Fifth Street. Okay, I was on Gladys and Fifth Street filming that one, and you hear her story. She's delusional. She said we've got to help the illegal immigrants before her. Now you explain that. She says we've got to help the illegal immigrants before her. Now I want you to see this. This is how blacks are living in California. That's us right there. That's California. 80% of the people homeless. Now where them rats at? They chewing them up at night. Where's Typhus at? Look at this. Look at this. This is in the middle of the street. Look at the bus. This stuff moves all the way over into the street. To the point the bus just drives by like it's normal. This is normal. Look at this sister here. I want you to pay attention to this. See how she got 2 different pairs of shoes on? That's a homeless woman. She got 2 different pairs of shoes on. And you want me to care about some damn illegal immigrants. Yeah, that's my life. That's my life living in California. knowing I can't do nothing to help my people. A lot of us, we've cried together on the phone about these people, and nobody wants to help us. And always sad, it's sad, but it's beyond sad now. God's upset. That's why you're going to have plagues in this country. That's why you're going to have people in leadership be taken out. That's why you're going to have people die. Somebody's going to die because there's people dying every day. Coroners picking up dead people out of these tents, and the news don't even talk about it. It's a shame. It's a shame, my people. So do we need this wall? Absolutely. Do we need to start boycotting? Absolutely. Do we need to start talking about communities that are being lost and forgotten? Absolutely. And it starts with people like me having discussions, sharing videos, getting thumbs up, and liking videos like this. Because you see other videos where I'm ranting, but I can only do so much on the street. Because I can, honestly, it hurts my heart. And I can't digest too much of doing the video shooting. Because it just psychologically can play on your mind. It's hurtful. Now you feel sorry because if you walk down there, you can catch fleas. But I plan on doing one more video. My sons hate when I go down there to do these videos. And they don't like me going by myself. But I'm at a point now I can't find anybody to want to come shoot with me. Everybody like to act like they be in front of this camera. They don't want to put themselves in the line of fire to show the reality of the pain of the African American of California. So pray for this country. Pray for your people. Pray for the black people who are homeless, who are destitute, who are hungry, who are in the rain and the cold back east, who are being frozen to death. Black people are freezing to death. And we want to empower a bunch of illegals who come here and take advantage through chain migration, immigration, and refugees, and expired visas. All those people are in the same category. They disrupt and displace our infrastructure, and it does not work in Americans' best interest. Trump was right when he said, this is what Midnight is saying, Trump was right about what happened in New York, in the sanctuary city jobs. Well, you know, sanctuary city, what does that mean? You know, people use these terms, we're sanctuary. You know, it's delusional, it's a lie to these foreigners, because what you don't realize is that there are powers and entities greater than your state leaders. Yeah. So all you immigrants who are here watching me, or you might share this with your little immigrant friends and illegal immigrant and refugees friends, the federal government will call an army of leaders to come and take control of the situation and circumvent local law officials. So law officials who think they're arming up against the federal government, you have no clue to play with the U.S. Army or the Navy or any of the military defenses that we have at our disposal. And President Trump could use that at any time. Oh, them poor cats. Child, them poor cats. Poor us. Because they don't use them old nasty, filthy cats now. I told you, they catch fleas, and people love cats. What do people do? They pick up cats and they hold them. Now, you're going to have all these cats roaming the streets trying to catch rodents filled with typhus, and the fleas are going to pop on the cats. This is a crazy-ass state with tick people run well. Well, y'all, we've been on for an hour. Thank you for sharing and liking this. For those who came on, if you missed it and you came in late, please make sure you share this video, get the likes up, subscribe, share it with your friends. And if you want me to talk about anything else, let me know. I'm going to read some more things before I go. Give them credit. I don't know what I mean by that. I was in Compton in the 70s, and yeah, brother, well, there's a whole bunch of Mexicans now. We ain't in the 70s. Who said take care? Take care. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate Rachel and Arthea Trell. I cannot see Terrall. Good night, girl. You were with me the whole time, even when I had all of my technical issues earlier. For those who stayed here, Audrey and Granny and Lucky's. Lucky, how you doing? Lucky always be popping in. I appreciate that. A couple of my monitors came on. Doug came on and then he left. He said, you ain't got no sound. Get your sound together, mama. Get your sound together. So I appreciate you guys. California is not the California if you grew up here before. Like I said, the EB cards, the Section 8. Last thing I want to leave you with, Ron Paul said this. You can build your wall, but until you stop all this free stuff that we give away, these people are going to still keep trying to come in every way but loose to come here for free. So let's start thinking about talking about cutting off all these federal fundings going to these people. Let's start talking about e-verification. Let's start talking about restitution for African Americans who have been displaced by this. that the government empowered these people through chain migration visas, expired visas. They empowered these people, and it dispositioned the communities of the urban communities, specifically the black people. Now, I don't know if that should be a lawsuit against that. I don't know if we should be filing a massive class action lawsuit against the states and the federal government for allowing these people in our community to be empowered through banks like Wells Fargo and other companies that are out there that really are not working in Black Americans' best interest. It doesn't help us. It displaced us. And this is so true. Rachel says it's so true. I want you to educate your children of your worth if you're African American or whatever ethnic background you are. Educate your children on what's going on. Have conversations, because there are a lot of people trying to get into your child's head. There's a lot of people trying to get into your head. You know, show them my video, share my video, break the video down into parts and then start looking at stuff up and having conversations about typhus and rats and rodents and cats. You know, don't cats have some kind of rights to say, hey, I don't want to catch these fleas and die? What about cats' rights? Cats have rights too. For those who came in late, they're talking about using cats to stop the typhus in the street. You know, this is a crazy ass state, I tell you. It's a crazy ass state. You know, but if you're here illegally and you're here legally, good for you. I believe they don't need no more people here right now. I think that we need to put a moratorium on all these people keep moving here and bringing their cousin and taking businesses that we create over. And we need to wake up to that. But pray for the people who are here. You're in Hawthorne, California. Oh, honey, God bless you, because there's a whole bunch of them out there. Please lift up the people in California, especially the African Americans. And if you're in the South, do me a favor. Reach out to me. Go to urbangamechangers.com and tell me, is there some entities that'll be willing to help some of the mentally black ill people who need places to go? They got Section 8 checks. They got security checks. I think we should put a bus together and just say, if you want to come, here's your bus tickets. Maybe do some kind of alignment with Greyhound called Blackout. Well, we have people who donate money and we give you bus tickets to get back home. If you want to get back home, you can go on and book your bus ticket for free. It's a one-way ticket. There ain't no two ways. It's one way. And it's out of California. So that's just something to think about. Food for thought. So bless you people. Bless you for watching. Let's get together. Share this video. Let's get these numbers up. Help me get my numbers. Let me expose the real truths of someone who lives in California. Someone that has endured the pain of California. And someone that's going to keep it raw and real and authentic to you. And don't forget to go to urbangamechangers.com and make a donation, because those donations really mean a lot to us. It helps us expand. We will be at CPAC. Somebody mentioned CPAC and I didn't respond to it. But I will be at CPAC the end of this month, which is conservative, da-da-da-da-da. Look it up. Just look up CPAC. It is going to be in Maryland. And follow Deontay Johnson. He's running that show, and Urban Game Changers is writing on that show. Feel from the Advice will be there. Afro Synergy News will be there. We're going to be out there. We're going to be talking to people in the black community and keep it at 100. I don't think they're expecting this type of Negro to be there, but hey, let's see what happens.